Should the New Orleans Pelicans move on from Zion Williamson? We'll get straight into it, man. It's your boy P.kidd from P.kidd Talks NBA. Abso-freaking-lutely. I'm going to have to say this, and we're going to put it out there. Zion Williamson has, since he's been drafted in New Orleans, there's been some type of rumor that he didn't want to be there, this, that, and the other. And then the injuries pile up and stuff like that. After a while, when a person shows you, hey, they kind of don't want to be there, they're not really taking care of themselves, it may be time for you to sell high. No one is denying the fact that Zion Williamson is a freak of nature. I mean, despite the fact that it's a small sample size compared to how many games he could have played over the last 4 seasons, he is still like 26 points a game, like 37% from three, 52 something odd percent from, like, the boy's a beast. I'm not gonna lie about that. But there's a couple of things that I sit there and I question when it comes to his professionalism, when it comes to how he takes care of his body, because eventually what's going to happen is his size, stature, and everything like that. Guess what? After a while, you haven't been on the court long enough to develop your game. If anyone's been watching Zion, that's one of the things I look at. I don't look at just whether or not he just wants to be there, but also the limited time and availability he's had. He hasn't had 4 years of development yet. Now, someone could sit there and argue that that's actually what makes it so interesting, because he's still very raw. And look at what he can do with how raw he is. And I wouldn't deny that. But I will say that the league is changing, and for him to not have developed realistically in 4 years, eventually that size and brute strength and stuff like that, that's only going to take you so far. On top of the fact that he's really able to do what he does because of his size and because of his explosiveness, that really doesn't fit his frame. What I mean by that is Zion Williamson would have been a hell of a football player, for sure. But that doesn't work in the NBA. The moment he got drafted, that was a thing. So let's break this down into 2 things. I want to hit on 2, maybe 3 points. One, should they move on from him? I've already said yes, and I'm going to give you a couple of reasons why. This reason now, you haven't seen it mature. Personal issues aside, because there's a lot of NBA players who have entanglements, different things going on. What's happening with him, Mariah Mills, and porn stars has nothing to do with his game. I mean, I'm not going to sit there. I mean, the best of them have had stuff off court. I'm not going to sit there and get into that. However, it does add up to the distractions. But him not taking care of himself and stuff like that, a lot of blame going on the Pelicans, which I don't necessarily believe. I think it's always up to the player to take care of himself. That's how you get the money. That's how you get paid. You get paid millions of dollars to perform and do something that is really a privilege. It's a privilege to play in the NBA. There's a lot of people who are skilled, talented, who could have that didn't make it. It's a privilege to make it. So he has this beautiful privilege to have not only been to be an NBA player, but be so highly touted and so highly sought after that they compared him to LeBron James with the hype. So with that being the case, it's a privilege, and he hasn't taken that privilege, in my opinion, seriously. And that's been a question his entire career. It's been 4 years now. So I understand we can use the young moniker, but at a certain point, you got to realize that you're not young no more. Like, you're a professional. At a certain point, you're considered a veteran in this league. He's going to be considered a veteran before he hits 25. So at this point, you can't use the young thing anymore. Right? Kobe was 22 in the finals. Yeah, he had a team around him, stuff like that, but everyone saw his work ethic. I'm not comparing him. I'm just saying, hey, everyone likes to use this. Oh, he's young, this, that, and the other. I can go down the list of some 22-year-olds who've actually, did their job, came in, worked on their body, worked on their game, got better every season. I can give you a list of those people. I'm not using that as an excuse. Your age has nothing to do with the fact that you're getting paid beyond generational money, and your only goal and the only thing they want you to do is keep yourself in shape, keep yourself up, and play basketball. I'm not saying that's hard. It's easier said than done. I'm not saying it's not hard. But let's be real. It's a game. And you have to stay in shape to play a game. And you can't even stay in shape. You can't. Apparently, you don't even have the right dietitian. That's a problem. Personal development is something that, hey, you got to take seriously. He hasn't taken that serious. So that's one for me. Right. 2 is availability. Right now, best ability is availability. He hasn't been available. So if you haven't been available, but you still are garnering this much attention, if I'm the Pelicans GM, I'm selling him. I hate to say it that way. That seems weird. I'm trading him. I'm selling high. Somebody's going to take the bite on this real quick. Someone's going to give me picks and stuff like that. I'm getting by. I don't need the headache. If you don't want to be here, that's fine. I'm not going to sit there and go back to, do you want to be here? No. You then gave me 4 years of telling me you really don't. And you, injury or not, I can tell outside of this, you don't really know. And his entanglements have already put out that, hey, he really isn't taking himself seriously. He really isn't keeping himself in shape. So guess what? Bye. Let that be another person's headache. Let me go ahead, get the picks for it, get Scoot Henderson, somebody else, and we can build around the team I got. Because guess what? The Pelicans did good without Zion. The Pelicans was a really nice team without Zion. They really were. B.I.'s coming into his own. C.J. McCollum was there. They had some mess ups toward the end, but guess what? They made a nice run by themselves. They don't need him. They could be better with him. That opportunity, but it's been 4 years. You haven't seen it. You can't sit there and do the what could have been. The woulda, coulda, shoulda don't exist after 4 years. Move on. If he blossoms somewhere else, great. He blossoms somewhere else. But if I'm a GM, I'm taking what I have. I'm using that as draft capital or getting another player in to fit this team I got here, and I'm doing damage with the team I got because they did good. So that leads me into my second point. The New Orleans Pelicans are actually in a really good position. They have talent on this roster that's actually maturing, that's actually gelling, and they can be a force to be reckoned with. Does Zion make them better? Yeah, if healthy and consistently on the floor, but that's a big if. So I'm not going to take that. I'm going to take what I got. The sample size that I have is the people who have been available have been doing well. And I'm building upon it if I'm the New Orleans Pelicans GM. It makes no sense for me not to. It makes no sense for me to sit there and bang my head against this wall and say, man, is this kid going to get it? No. I'm done. I'm selling high. CJ, BI, I'm missing some other players there, but they've been doing well. BI's really been flourishing. No. I saw him close out a game in Chicago last season. Closed it out. Easy. Smooth too. No need. I got a star here. I got a star. Is it Zion high flying dunking? Probably not, but how long can Zion do that now? If he doesn't keep himself up. I'm gonna stick with what I got. I'm gonna keep moving. Third thing and the last thing I'm gonna say this is sometimes being traded gives you a level of embarrassment to get your act right. Sometimes you gotta lose something. And I've been in that position where I didn't necessarily appreciate some of the things, the opportunities I had. And when I lost them, I was like, yeah, I probably should have did better with that. And that may be the situation for Zion. He may actually have to go through that embarrassment to get his act together because apparently something's not working there. Apparently something's not right. And apparently, if that's not the case, if New Orleans can't provide that right environment for him, then they need to get him out of there. So it's all about the mentality. Professional development is one thing, but how you do things mentally, that's a whole different thing. And that's in constant question. So if I already have a issue with your personal development, that's one, and how you develop within the game and how much time you haven't been able to spend on the floor to develop your game. My team is actually doing well and we're gelling. We're actually one or maybe two pieces away that I could use your hype to actually fill that pocket. And three, I'm always worried about your mentality. It tells me that it's time for us to part ways. So I'm gonna part ways. And that's my take on it. I think the New Orleans Pelicans should actually move on. Who they should go after, I have no idea. And frankly, I don't care. I frankly don't care. And the reason why is because I am very disappointed in how Zion has actually gone about just when he has been available, how he's gone about taking care of himself and things of that nature. If the rumors are true, obviously I'm not down there. I'm not an insider, but it is something that's been widely reported from multiple different sources. CJ McCollum has called out players not being available when it was only one person not available at that particular time, that being Zion. Like there's vets there who they've spoken on it. So I'm not just talking out my behind, I'm not talking outside of my neck. It's evidence there that hasn't been happening. But I want to hear your thoughts, man. What do you think the Pelicans should do? If you're in the Pelicans, if you're in New Orleans right now, is it time for you to say sing Kumbaya and part ways with Zion? You all let me know what you think, man. I've been down there a couple times. Great food. By the way, I can't blame him for not being in shape. Great food. Best food I ever had. I'm not gonna lie to you. I went down there. Jesus, I don't even know half the stuff I ate, but I ate everything, and I never got fooled for some odd reason, which makes me question the food I eat up here in Chicago. But y'all give me y'all thoughts, man. Whether it's love, whether it's hate, I'll be in the comments with y'all. Till next time.